Yeah, hello, and welcome back to another unboxing and review. Here we have the Spider-Man from No Way Home, the black and gold edition, which again was one of those ones that's been a little bit sort of funny in people's eyes because they sort of put it out before the film had actually been out, and then we find out that, spoiler alert, it isn't in the movie for all that long. But I still like the look of it, you know, I like the look of what I've seen of the pictures of it. So we're now going to find out whether the looks of those pictures turn out to be as good as the actual figure itself, or whether the figure itself isn't really worth it, and is it worth getting rid of. Let's find out. Starting off with what the box looks like, you know, I mean, it's sort of a plain but also interesting style thingy to it, with all the, you get the spider effect with like what looks sort of almost sort of mechanicalized to it. You've got the little Spider-Man logo on there side, a Spider-Man with the actual thing here from sort of, and you got the warnings on the back, same on that side. The top has Spider-Man black suit, will slip cover to reveal, which you probably might not even be able to see thingy in there because of the lights training off it. But let's get this stuff out. Let's have a look at what we've got with it, guys. Let's see what we have. Here are all the accessories you get with it, guys. So you start off with the normal stuff. We have the crotch grabber with the bit to hold his backside on. Out of the way, we have this nice black and gold suit with Spider-Man on the top. You can see it's obviously brand spanking new. Looks like it's had something there at one point, and one of the things where it might have been able to be plugged in at some point, but obviously with this one it's not. But it is still nice base, even though basically I never use them if I can help it. And you do have obviously the dynamic flight pole if you want it. It's that sort of rectangular bit for plugging it in. Let's have a look. We also get the usual array of these webs. And here's one for sliding into his hand and make it look like he's got it ravelled up. The end piece to make it look like it's actually stuck to something. We also have this one, which has the sort of like an orangey goldy style effect to it, which I think is kind of sort of cool. We also have these three pieces, which that one looks like it might be magnetic. Okay, just it looks like there's a magnet in that one. Yeah, but it has like the spider effect, but also the Doctor Strange style sort of effect to it. You have that one, which you can see actually has the hole in the thread on, with just a little bit of it around the outsides. A little bit of markings on the outside. Same with that one. A little bit of markings on the outside. They're all kind of sort of cool. I don't know how they work or what they go on to, but they're kind of cool. You have the actual gauntlet there, which looks like something can go into there possibly. Because again, I haven't looked at the instructions or anything just yet. I like to sort of look at these things the same way as everybody else does. You know, I just get it out, have a look at it, see what it looks like, then start going over the rest of it. And you can see that there's plenty of actual little tiny details in amongst it, you know, with all the little sort of, well, maybe classed as ruin style things to it. That's kind of cool. We have the one he can hold in his hand to make it look like he's took his mask off. The material on this is strange sort of material. I'll be worried that it might sort of like, if you try to mess around with it too much, that it might actually rip or tear, but it's still a nice sort of detail into it. Yeah. Nice detail to it. We'll get the head sculpt out of the way, because I know that's what you want to see more than anything else. If you haven't already seen it in there, you can, guys. There's the head sculpt. I think that's a damn decent job. Probably the best one you may have had so far. You know, the thing of the hair is pretty damn cool. Not just sort of monotoned. It does have gradients to it like normal hair would. Not that I wouldn't know that much because I don't have any, but what the hell, I do have a beard, so but it is really sort of cool. All the detail that's in there. Face sculpt itself, I think, is pretty much bang on. Though under my light, you're sort of seeing almost like a blackish brown speckle to it. Yeah, it doesn't look that way as much first hand. I'm obviously going to adjust the color gradient a little bit compared to what I'm actually seeing now, so hopefully that will make it look more like what I can actually see when I look at it. But I mean, it's pretty damn cool. It's a damn good head sculpt. You can't go wrong with that one. For those that like the head sculpts, I tend not to use them, but you know, you never know, one of these days I might. And you've got this thingy which plugs into the actual hand itself, so you take one part of the hand off, plug that in, so that you can plug in the web effect. I think that's pretty cool. Rather than it being a wrist one that hangs around the wrist itself, it actually plugs into the hand itself, so that's cool. You get two of those. Then you get your hands, so you've got obviously the two fisted hands. Let me show you them both. I think about there you can. Yeah, nice detail to it. I just think that this was, spoiler alert, was his suit turned inside out. So I think that all this sort of mechanical style thing and what have you was all on the inside of that suit. It's sort of flat to the touch, like, you know, it would have been really uncomfortable for him if this was all raised, but it still looks beautiful. Yeah, so you get the two fist, you get the two open hand ones where you basically could be clinging to the wall. I don't think that's the one where they come off, but possibly could be for all I know. Because I don't think you would have doubted because of the way they're built. They're not meant for sort of shooting them. They're more like a hand for gripping onto the wall. So you get your two of those. These are more like your web shooting hands. So, and then as you can see, if I can get it in there, you do have the ridge here, and it comes around here. So this one obviously will be the ones that will, as you can see there, look, they would come off to put the other bits in, to be able to have them slinging these webs out of these things like that. Again, just absolutely amazing amount of detail to them. And this stuff here, these little, these raised little spiky bits are raised, as you can see there. You know, they are slightly raised, so I don't know if you can hear that, but there you go. So they are raised, so that there is some sort of thingy to that. So that's kind of cool that they can put that much detail in them. And you've got these two different hands. So that one, which is like it's like he's gripping, holding onto something. Possibly be for this, I would imagine. Then you have this one, which is for actually holding onto the web like you're swinging. So there you go. And then obviously you can see the plethora of eyes you have here. Closed, slightly open, more open, wide open, and then you've obviously got the eyes that's actually on the figure itself. So that's all the accessories, guys, you know, and it's not a bad amount of accessories. But now let's have a look at this figure, see what the figure looks like, and also have a look at the articulation on him, see how articulate it is. And here he is, guys. So on first look, from a distance, it's like nothing hugely special. But the fact that it's black and gold, and I love black and gold. I think black and gold go together so well and can stand out so beautifully when you've got it right. It's only on closer inspection that you see more of the detail, which I'm sure you'll have seen anyway. You'll have watched other people's videos because there's people way better at it than I am. So let's pull them forward and let's have a better look at some of this stuff to them. So the head sculpt itself, or the actual thing itself, you can see there's actually not just black and gold in there. You can see on the chin part of it that is actually sort of like a greyish colour to it as well, which goes through lots of these different bits, which are like runes type things to it. You can see them all the way around the head sculpt. So it goes to prove to you. Plus you've got like little sort of dots, and they are raised, so that gives you a bit more depth to the actual thing of the figure itself, and I think that is kind of cool. You know, you can see them really well there. So it's not just sort of black and gold and plain, you've got little bits of different other colours in amongst that head sculpt. You know, the same goes for his shoulders and his chest piece. You can see there all the different sort of little colours, there's different gradients in there. So yeah, and even just the black itself isn't just black. Yeah, it is slightly textured, and it is different sort of pattern on there, which I think just this is what makes this figure for me stand out when you're close up to it. When you're a distance away, you're not even going to notice that, but when you're close up and you just go, wow, the level of detail in that in this figure is absolutely beautiful. You know, it really is a beautiful look to it. Yeah, it isn't just plain black. You can see lots of little details in there, and it just looks phenomenal. You know, it goes all the way down on his legs, down to his feet, and there's the soles for those that like to see the soles of the feet. You know, cool looking figure, cool looking character, and I think it just looks really well. So what is the articulation like on this guy? Head goes down about there. Yeah, but you can see as you do that, the sort of back of the neck thing comes away. You can't get him looking up. So about that. And then doesn't leave any sort of unsightliness to it, which is cool. You've got the tilt and tilt that way, which again then just sort of starts to raise it away from there a little bit. And obviously he will look all the way around, but you just have to be careful not to sort of scrub any of these bits off when you're doing it. And to get the eyes out, it would probably just be plucking it from the corner. I'll just again be careful, because you can see there that you do have like a little blue mark on it. So there's a tiny amount of blue on there as well. So that's kind of cool. Shoulders wise, you can hear there it's ratcheted, and it will literally go way up. You are getting your bunching there. Yeah, but you can hear there that it's ratcheted coming forward. There's no ratchet, but it will come forward there. But again, you are getting that sort of thingy look to the shoulder there. Not that you can see that well on the camera there, but so we'll go back, which again you can see the pulling there, the ears, that butterfly joint, the ears, movement at the bicep. It will bend beyond the 90, not all the way up, but will bend beyond the 90, and you are going to get again the creasing in there. You've got obviously a standard peg for the wrist. You are getting a heck of an amount of twist on the waist, as you can see there. So you've got to just again watch for that thingy with the suit, because you can see how much there it's starting to thingy, but you can get a hell of a lot of twist. You will get bend in that way as well. You get massive amount of bend, and sort of decent enough amount backwards. Yeah, it would be nice to get slightly more, but that's good enough for me. The waist wise, these are always where the issue sort of can lie with these figures, is the actual waist. So let's come from this side, so you can see again in here it's on a ratchet. It is going a decent amount. You know, that is basically almost 90 degrees. And if you stand up right, it's almost, it pretty much is 90 degrees when I've sort of got that leg properly straight at the back. It's pretty much 90 degrees forward, though you are getting, again, sort of a bit of bunching there. Going back is where always the issue is, but look at that. For going back, that is phenomenal. Hot Toys, why aren't all of your thingies like this? Because that is a phenomenal about the bend back. Yes, you are getting a sort of the bulge coming out here where the joint is, the same as when you are bending it forward. You know, you get that sort of second bulge to that bit where the legs coming out, but that is a phenomenal range of motion on that guys. That really is. That's tremendous, and that's a tremendous amount there as well. You cannot complain for that. The only thing you've got is the bunching, which you've got to then sort of hope that the material will go back to a nice thingy. You have toe articulation, you see there, toe articulation to it. You also have plenty of ankle articulation, though again you have to watch for the bunching just there. But that, guys, is freakishly good. You can't get his arms fully by side, that's as close as you're going to get them, but he will stand up on his own for the time being. I like this figure. Yeah, it's a shame, like again, spoiler alert again, that he wasn't in it for very long. What they could have done though is, those that have seen the movie will know that he had something else on him. It would have been nice to have had that, so you could have put that on there, just magnetised, would have been enough. Just magnetised it there, and that would have sort of finished that figure off and probably made it a little bit more worthwhile for those that have looked at it and went, well, you know what it is, it wasn't in long enough, I'm not bothered with it. I do want the other characters as well from that movie, because hey, they're iconic. And if you got to think, the Spider-Man from back then, the sort of Raimi universe and what have you, is the ones I grew up with, so they have more of a deeper meaning to me. So I'd like to be able to get a hold of those ones, the original Spider-Man uniforms and what have you. But this one's still pretty damn good, and I'm pretty happy, and I'm glad I picked it up. It was cheap enough at the time, probably the reason why, and it might be even cheaper now. But I like this figure. I think it's pretty damn good. It's a case of now, where do I put him, and how do I have him, and what do I have him posed with? That will be questions that I will have to answer at some point. But for now, guys, there you go. That's him. I think he looks damn cool. I suppose before we go up, we should show you what he looks like with Tom Holland's head sculpt on. So bear with me while I change them over. There he is from a distance with his head sculpt on. Now I don't know if it was supposed to things like that, but with this one, I don't know if you can see, but inside still is the ball joint, which I think that should have probably stayed inside the figure, but instead the ball joint has stayed inside of there. So I would end up having to take that ball joint out of there to put into his head, because at the minute, and don't worry, it's not going to hurt him, but there is no ball joint in there, which means literally his head is just plonked on top. So you would still get the motion a bit on it, but not quite as good as what you would probably get if you had the ball joint in there. But it is on there, and I'll bring it closer so you can actually have a look. It is there, yeah. It is a good likeness for him. Pretty damn cool likeness for him, but again, I just don't think I'll end up using it. I prefer me Spider-Man to have that sort of the hoods on, or whatever you want to call it. But he's cool. It looks pretty good, and I think, if you want to see it, if you have a head sculpt on, I think you should have the neck shown. So the mask should be the one that comes sort of down here, and then you should have his neck shown, because that to me looks quite sort of strange that I think goes up under his neck and what have you. But yeah, it's still cool for those that want to display him like that. It does work, and there you go. Anyway, guys, you can see it, take that off, bang this back into place, if it'll go nicely and easy or not, because it's best thing you can do half the time is heat the damn things up, which is probably what I'll have to do when I'm off air. I'll heat it up and bung that back on, because I've got my heater down here on the floor. But there you go, guys, that's the Spider-Man. kind of damn cool. Like I say, it's not on properly yet, guys, so don't worry with the long giraffe neck. I haven't done it on properly yet, I haven't heated it up. But that's it, guys. That's my review of this character. I like it. I'm glad I've got it. I just could do with getting a couple of more figures that have got black and gold in them, maybe to pose with them. But if not, I'll find somewhere for them, and you'll probably see that in another video at some point. Anyway, guys, thanks very much for watching. Really do appreciate those that do. Please, yeah, comment if you want to, and I will comment back. If not, slip your nerdy off, and I am out of here, guys.
So what I believe you were trying to say is thank you.
Thank you?
You're welcome.
What? No. I didn't. I wasn't. Why would I ever say that? I mean,
Okay.